In order to know your roots, you also might know your name and what does it mean. My family are the Orthodox, so my first name is taking roots from the religion. Due to the stories of saint people, my name is the Holy Mother Saint Sophia, who has 3 daughters, Faith, Hope, and Love. Last name Litvinuk is likely to have Ukrainian or less commonly Belarusian roots, originating from Eastern Europe. It is formed with the use of additional suffix "yuk", which means a young man or son as well as possibly a student. My patronymic name is Vitalievna. In Ukraine, people use first, last, and patronymic names. A patronymic is a component of a personal name based on the given names of one's father. This is a means of conveying lineage. My family is a blend of Ukrainian, Russian, Belarusian, Polish, Jewish, such as me. My mother's family was well-to-do, but after the social revolution of 1917, they lost all of their businesses and status. My father's family was also well-to-do, but lost their lands after social revolution as well. Most of the men on my mom's side were military. Some of them were generals, others were officers of the Russian Empire and then of the Soviet Union. One interesting family story that I used to ask my grandma for because nobody liked to tell it. Nephew of my great-grandmother's grandma Alexander was a general of White Army and the owner of the St. Andrew's Cross, award for military merit. After Russian Revolution of 1917, when Bolsheviks come to the power, most of the officers of White Army were killed by the new government. My relative was one of the officers who were shot in Moscow. Today, nobody also can tell what happened to his wife. In 1996, my great-uncle Yura accepted an invitation to participate in a big project for a big government company. His wife was sick with breast cancer and later turned into bone cancer. The purpose of immigration to America was to cure my aunt Natasha. After Orange Revolution of 2004, my uncle Seva came to America for qualified additional education. In 2007, he became a student of DVC College. 2 years later, he met my aunt, fell in love, and married. In 2013, Ukrainians began a Euromaidan and tried to convince the current government to comply with the requirements of Europe for the inclusion of Ukraine into the European Union. These protests ended with the shooting of the strikers. Next year, 2014, Russia will conquer the east area of Ukraine, Donbas region, and began a Ukrainian-Russian war. In 2015, me and my mom came to America to unite with the family and find a safety place for life. In 1994, my dad wanted to apply to the history department of the Dnipropetrovsk State University, but life in Dnipropetrovsk was too expensive, therefore the backup option was Zaporizhzhia University. When he arrived for the exams, he failed for the faculty wanted to enroll. Instead, he was offered to enter the faculty of physics, where he met my mom. My mom skipped the exams, so she applied and passed them during the high school, so she automatically went to the same faculty. Such as my dad was one of the 2 tallest guys on the faculty, it helped him to get my mom's attention. After a year of dating, when the entire family come to celebrate a Christmas party, my dad proposed to my mom, and since her parents were with the decision, after 6 months they get married. During the reign of Alexander I, the famous commander Alexander Suvorov had a sister, Anna Gorchakova. Alexander, realizing the likelihood of war between Russia and Napoleon, tried to protect his family and sent his sister to live in France permanently. At that time, all unmarried women could not travel alone, so most of them had companions. My distant relative was one of these companions for Suvorov's sister. My grandmother mentioned that the journey from Russia to France lasted for a year and was in the carriage. After a year of living in a foreign country, my great-great-grandmother was difficult to adopt, and the awareness that she was far away from her homeland and her relatives led her to depression. For a long time, she used to ask Anna to let her go back to Russia. Eventually, Ms. Gorchakova allowed her to return. This is a recipe of syrniki that has been passed in my family through generations. This is a classical breakfast dish. This dish is also very popular in Ukraine, so many families have their own unique recipes.